Happy Friday. How are you? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to start off with a little piece of good news because you know what? This is just a hang out and have fun kind of Friday. And Kelly, I know that that's not great news, but it like given the opportunity of you know what when it, okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Kelly has a comment on here where she found a lump and she doesn't have to have a mastectomy, but she has to have 3 months chemo with no radiation. And in like the grand scheme of it, and I know that when it comes to cancer, there's never any been like good news. Oh my gosh, that's good news. But I'm just glad that it's not too that you caught it when you did, and that out of everything that could have to happen, maybe that's good news. So I'm going to start off with just being like, you know what? I'm just glad that you got some good news and that you found it and that you were able to be proactive. And I love you dearly. And thank you for sharing because we are going to have a great Friday. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to can you shut your door? Oh, well, you know what? We're just going to let him. You're going to hear Robert yelling in the background, but that's just Robert doing his thing. So happy Friday. You know what? Today is a day that we are going to kind of do. Good. So Kelly says, yes, me too. I am so grateful. You know what? And it's like I said, it's like, hello, April. I've been through it, never to the extent that you have, because I went in for just a basic routine checkup. They found some lumps. They did like the little, like they put the little wire in and they just took out just enough cells to see what they had to do. The ones, they were all okay except for one. And that one, it was not cancerous yet, but it was to the point where the cells were starting to change. So they went in, I got a little scar right there. They went in, they took it out, and I haven't had any lumpectomies since. So I kind of get where it's like, it's scary. I mean, it is scary, and it's something that I am so thankful that you're able to share with us, and we're able to support you. I absolutely love it, and this is a reminder to all women out there. We need to go and get our checkups. We have little things in us that can go south at many different levels. I go once a year and I get my little scan. I actually, when I'm done with this show, I am going to be heading to the doctors, and I'm terrified. I don't like going to the doctors. I mean, never ever have I been like, wow, everything's working perfectly. I feel great. I think I'm going to go hang out with my doctor. I mean, it's never been like that. So I associate going to the doctors with not feeling good. Hello, Claire. Claire, I saw your Instagram messages. I'm sorry I didn't get to it yesterday. I'm going to sit down and read it in the waiting room while I am at the doctor's. But it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've taken it's been a long time since I have gone to the doctors and been like, "Hey, I need some things checked out." And I actually have made a list of things that I want checked out. I want my blood test taken. I want to check my thyroid. I want to check my iron because before my hysterectomy, I was horribly anemic to the point where they almost gave me a blood transfusion. So I want my blood checked for iron and for my thyroid. Oh my gosh, I know I have to have a colonoscopy. And I think I'm saying it right. And I have been putting it off, and I am just not going to put off my health any longer out of fear. So I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to admit that I need one because it's something that we have to have checked because we all poop. I'm going to say it right now. And it's something that when we think of areas like that, we're all like, no, I don't want to think about that. But I'm gonna buckle down. I'm gonna get one, And then remember, I fell the other day taking Indy for a walk. Um, where she got scared from a tree trimmer and took my legs right out from underneath me. And I ended up going to the urgent care and they did an x ray on my foot. And fist bump, yes, fist bump. And the doctor was like, "Well, your foot's not broken, but you got something going on with your foot because I've had a couple of foot surgeries." So it was so bad. She was like, "Take a picture of this X-ray and show it to your doctor because I think I'm going to have to." I think if they're going to recommend surgery, I'm going to just go ahead and do it now before I get to be any older. So I'm a little like on that because I mean I know I won't find it out today, but I know I need to get a referral for an orthopedic surgeon to take a look at this X-ray to take a look at my foot because my foot is if it's bad and I'm going to have it done, I just as soon do it. Claire says, "Oh my God, me too, was supposed to have one done in January." It is just one of those. What was that? Hold on here. I just saw, that was weird. Okay, I just saw kind of like a rude message and I wanted to address that really quick. So I'll turn my phone upside down. So yeah, I just know it's something I have to do. And here's the thing. It's like I ignored my physical health. I ignored my dental health. I ignored my yes, and I ignored my emotional health while I was drinking. I have no excuse. I have zero excuses as to why I should be avoiding it now. And the only reason I'm avoiding it now is out of fear. And if I address it like that, if I acknowledge it like that, then it's easier for me to be like, you know what, Lonnie, you got to let the fear go and you need to do what you need to do. Claire says, I've got a foot x-ray. I've got a foot x-ray in a fortnight. Yeah. You know what? What it was is that when I was younger, okay, here's what happened to my foot. When I was younger, I did one of those walk for mankind. It was a thing back in the 80s where you would walk, it's like 70s, 80s, and it's like you would walk 10 miles. Well, what happened is that I walked the entire way and I hurt my right foot. And the ligaments in my foot were swelling to the point where they were rubbing on my foot bone. So I went to some really bad doctor whose thought was, well, let's just remove the bone that your ligament is rubbing against. And I didn't know. I was like in my early 20s and I'm like, all right, sounds good to me. So I'd had foot surgery and I still remember I was awake during that foot surgery and it was horrendous. He just did it with locals and that's a story for a different day. So he went in and he removed that bone out of my foot. Well, it's kind of like, you build a house out of popsicle sticks and you remove one of the popsicle sticks and the rest of it collapses. That is exactly what happened to my foot. Without that bone that he had removed, my foot started collapsing over on itself and it made everything 10 times worse. So I had to go back to a different orthopedic surgeon. He did another surgery. He put a rod into my foot, let it heal that way. Yeah, no, it was not fun. And he let it heal that way. And it's been that way since Brandon was like maybe 3, so 27 years. It's held. But what's happening is that as I'm aging, it's kind of blowing out a little bit. There's definitely arthritis in my foot. And so I'm not too sure how much longer this temporary fix is going to last. So long story short, I mean, if they're like, well, you just have to wear flat shoes for the rest of your life, I'm going to be like, okay. Or if they're like, you might have to wear this or that, I'll be like, okay. And then also too, if he's like, or she is like, yeah, no, we need to get in there and clean it up, I'll be like, okay. So that's what I'm doing. And really super importantly, I'm going to get some things on my neck checked out. I have 3 things right here. I have one on each collarbone that my esthetician told me to check out. So I'll be having them look at that. And then this one right here, this one popped up instantly. Like it was like one, because I go once a month to my esthetician, and it wasn't there one month and it was there the next month. And she's like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like how fast it popped up. So I'm getting this one checked. And there's a couple of other ones that I'm like, you might as well take a look at this. And that I have to do it. And I will start on a routine from here on out of going and getting my skin checked, because it's, I'm going to be 59 years old and my skin has been in the sun a long time. So we're going to do that. And I am a little nervous. And it's something that I'm embracing, and it's something I'm being totally honest about, and it's something that I'm giving myself lots of self-compassion for. But I'm nervous, and it's been a long time since I've been there. So I originally had like this really super serious topic that we were going to talk about. And I was going to talk about how, misrepresentation of women over 50. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to hang out and have fun with you guys. I just want to drink coffee out of my Lucy mug and just hang out. Like we're all hanging out in my kitchen. It's like all of us are just like, hey, so how are you doing? So today's episode is not about me. It is about all of us. If there's something you got going on, if there's something you find interesting, if there's something you want to talk about, this is the time to do it, because we have 40 minutes left and this is our time to do it. So we're going to talk about just some random stuff. And I know I have been talking about doing like a murder mystery, and I looked yesterday and I'm having a hard time finding like an online kind of like murder mystery thing that we can all talk about and solve a crime. If you have any suggestions, if you've seen any sort of like app game or online game, or if you're going to, if you're playing one online with friends, let me know. I really want that kind of like those suggestions. Lauren says, I'm going to my first tattoo convention tomorrow and I'm so excited. Lauren, are you going to the one in Pomona? Is that where you're going? Because that's kind of interesting if that's where I think you're going. Kelly says virtual hugs, and you've got this really great support system here online and your boys. Yeah. And you know what? They've been that's just the whole thing. It's like, I don't try to make them too responsible for me, because I don't know. I just don't want to burden them. So I tell you guys more than I tell them. Nope, in the UK. Okay, because I know that there's one coming up in Pomona, and I've never been to a tattoo convention before. And I am thinking about going to that one just to have the experience of going to it and just kind of like, ooh, just go. The only thing that's stopping me is that I am like really weird around crowds. I do much better in smaller groups, and it seems like there would be a lot of people. So that's something that I'll have to get over, but just have fun, enjoy the atmosphere, soak up all the coolness, and just have super, super fun. So we're going to do a little trivia game. And this says, I should have known that. I have no idea what this is about, but we're going to check it out and see. Because you know what? I think that we should know some certain things. Okay. So, does the Statue of Liberty hold the torch in her left or right hand? There's no cheating. You cannot Google this to get the right answer. We have to all put up our hands and do the Boy Scout kind of thing and be like, I promise not to Google the answers. I'm just going to try to get them right. So, I'm not going to Google them, and neither can you. Claire says, no, Kelly says, not responsible, but they love and support you. Exactly. I totally get it. And I know that. And they are definitely there if I need them. If something weird happens, of course, they would sit down and we would talk about it. That's the first one I'm going to in Bristol. Ooh. Like I said, that sounds so much fun. I found out also, too, that Temecula on Wednesday nights is having like a really cool, evening farmers market kind of thing. And I have that right hand. Okay. Kelly's the first one to answer. She says right hand, and you are absolutely correct. So, Kelly, you won that one. Okay, next question. How long did sleeping okay, Claire said, "Oh, you guys are near each other. Very cool. You guys should hook up and go to that convention together. Here I am making play dates for you." Okay, how long did Sleeping Beauty sleep? I have no idea. So whoever has that answer, chime in. So, okay, Lauren lives in Wales. I've always wanted to go to Wales. See, I want to go to England, but I don't want to do the touristy, like Big Ben kind of like in England, kind of England. I want to go to the countrysides of England. You know, like where they filmed The American Werewolf in Paris. I want to do that, but I don't want to get chased by werewolves. But I want to go to that kind of like England, and I think that Wales is kind of a representation of that. I might be wrong. You can tell me if I am, because I'm all about that. So, yes, Kelly's on the board as the leader. Now, my friend, 100 years. Okay, Claire says 100 years. Let's see if she's right. Um, oh my gosh, Claire, you were correct. Wow, we have two leaders now. We have Claire and Kelly are neck and neck. So I have to start keeping score because you people are super smart. Super smart. 7 years like the seven dwarfs. I don't know. Yep. Nope. It was 100 years. And I didn't realize that she slept for 100 years. Okay. So here's the thing. She slept for 100 years. How was her stepmother still around? I mean, how old was her stepmother? I mean, she slept. Oh, wait. No, no, no. I'm thinking. Never mind. I'm getting Snow White and Sleeping Beauty confused. I'm working, so I would have helped out, but working, that's fine. I live in a narrow boat on a canal in a typical English village. Oh, my Lanta, that sounds so incredibly cool. It makes my I live in a track house sound so boring. So Sleeping Beauty did sleep for 7 years. And you know what, Kelly? You were thinking Snow White also. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was Sleeping Beauty. So now that doesn't make me feel too bad because Kelly and I were thinking the same thing. I bet you she really had to pee. No kidding. You know, I can't go through a whole night without waking up. How could she go through 100 years? Okay. So, okay. All right. Ooh, this one's super easy, but you're going to get this one. Well, I think it's easy. What horror film features a famous scene where a woman is stabbed while taking a shower? Go. Who's going to get that one? Because that one is, like I said, that one I think is easy. And I don't have a pen. All right, y'all are going to have to keep score because I don't have a pen. So we are going to wait for that one. And then another thing I wanted to let you know is, okay, I've been talking about Netflix because Netflix has had some pretty good things on there. Psycho, Lauren, you were on the board. I'm going to have, yep. Okay, so now we have a three-way tie. Or however you spell it. Nope, you got it. Close enough. I knew what. Norman, exactly. Okay, here's a kicker. I have never watched that movie. And I think I'm going to have to now. It is so Kelly, thank you for spelling it correctly because I had no idea. I've never watched that movie. And I think I need a pen. Hold on. Okay. I'm doing my makeup. I'm really here. Okay, Tiggy, you got to jump in, sweets. You got to get on the board. So far we have Lauren has one. Kelly has one. And then Claire has one. All right. We have a three-way tie. But I've never seen the movie. I have never seen Psycho. I watched Marnie for the first time, which is an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And that one was weird. Sometimes I forget how socially progressive we've gotten. since that time. And I was watching it and I'm like, I'm a little disturbed over this movie. I mean, this lady is clearly traumatized and she ends up getting blackmailed into getting married to this guy. I'm not going to give away the whole plot, but it was kind of like, I don't know, it was semi cringy. So I will this weekend, because I'm always looking for something to watch, I will watch Psycho and I will report in on it. Now, while we're on the subject of movies that I've never seen before, I am going to confess. And my confession is I have never seen the movie Goonies. I know. I am ready for the onslaught of, oh my gosh, I can't believe you've never seen the movie Goonies. And I saw it, I think it's on Hulu. And so that's another movie that I have never seen that I will be watching this weekend. And I will report back in on it because I don't know if you remember or not. I told you all the other day that I had never seen, oh gosh, I can't think of it now. It's that movie with, I know, Lauren. It's that movie with Glenn Close where she killed the bunny. What movie is that? It's that stalker movie, and now I can't even think about it. Um, you're gonna have to help me out. Remember the one where she cooks the bunny, and it's with Michael Douglas where he cheats on his wife, and then she turns out to be crazy. Um, you won't say it. Thank you. So what is that movie? It's not single white female. It's not. Um, hey, you guys. Gosh, what is it? What is it? What is it? All right, I'm gonna have to look that one up because that one's driving me crazy. And what? Unless you come up with it first, and it was Glenn Close movie. And it was called, oh my gosh, which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? It was, oh my goodness, she's been in like a gazillion. Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction. Thank you. Oh my God, Tiggy. Thank you for stopping your makeup. It was driving me crazy. I don't think I've watched the whole thing, Fatal Attraction. Okay, so I saw Fatal Attraction the other day. Thank you, Terry. And it was interesting. You know what? That's what. Besides the bunny being traumatized, actually more than traumatized, the bunny got killed. You know what? A cheater. I'm not going to feel sorry for the guy for cheating on his wife. Just going to say it. Okay. What symbol does Batman have on his chest? If y'all can't get that one, we are going to have some serious talks. So getting back to Netflix, have you watched The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix? Because that is a really good show. That show reminds me of like the Rockford Files, kind of like the old kind of, it just kind of like old school story like about April, you're on the board. I I read that and I'm like, how easy. It's Batman. Of course he has a bat on his chest. Okay. Um oh. So what well no, I'm not going to read that one. Okay. How many fingers does Mickey Mouse have on each hand? How many fingers? So we are going to go and I will let you think about that one. Now, Lincoln Lawyer, absolutely great. If you haven't seen it, the second season has come out. Now they're doing the same thing on the second season that they did on. I can you tell my brain is just not working? Oh my gosh, it was scary things. Scary things? Is that what it's called? Oh my gosh. Like I said, you can tell I am going to the, I'm still so scary things. Is that what it's called? Scary things Netflix. I can't type. Do, do, do. No, that's not what it's called. Um, Oh my gosh. Okay, now I need help again. It's that Netflix. Hello, coffee, coffee. Okay, it's that Netflix show with the kids and the Bobby Brown is in it, and she plays 11. Scare. I thought it was scary things, but it's not. I thought that's what it was. Never watched the show, but I'm pretty sure I watched the movie with Matthew McConaughey. You know, Kelly, I did not know that it was a movie, but Stranger Things. Yes. See, I was saying scary things, but it's Stranger Things. Okay. Yes. Claire, Kelly, thank you for helping me out. Um, Thank you, April. So they did the same thing this season that they did on Stranger Things. And they came out with the second season, but they only showed like the first 3 or 4 episodes. And then they're like part two on August 3rd. And you know what? To me, that's a little irritating. Give me the whole season or just wait. So it was a little bit of a schmeh. Now, I have been watching The Witcher. I love The Witcher, but here's why I am like, I don't know if I want to watch it anymore because the guy who plays The Witcher isn't going to play The Witcher after this season. And I'm like, I don't know how I would feel about this show without seeing the guy who's playing it. So those are the dilemmas that I go through on a day. All right. So who came up? April. You came up first with 4, and you are absolutely correct. April is taking the lead with 2. All right. This one's easy. Who is the lead singer of Coldplay? And go. So I watched the first like 4 episodes of season 2. It's a great, great, great show. If you're looking for anything to watch, I will be watching Psycho and Goonies. All right, I am waiting for the answer for the lead singer with who is the lead singer of Coldplay. 2010, 2011, maybe the movie with Matthew McConaughey. You know what? I'll look into that because I like Matthew McConaughey. I think he is a really cool kind of like, he's just a cool character, and I really like him. So another thing that's happening in the world is, did you hear about Britney Spears got like assaulted by some NBA player's bodyguard? And it's like this whole thing, it's all over the internet. Chris something, you're close. So if Chris something. Yes. Okay. So April and Kelly both said Chris something. I'll give you both a point. It's Chris Martin. And that is the lead singer of Coldplay. So April got one and Kelly got one. So yeah, Brittany got all she got she got roughed up by this guy's security guard. Now, here's the thing, and I'll tell you about it. But let me just say this really quick. How many cards are there in a deck of cards? And go. So apparently they were at a restaurant and this NBA player has a security team. And he's sitting there, he's signing autographs for people, and he has the security team around him. Well, apparently Brittany comes up and taps him on the shoulder, and she had on a hoodie or something, and the security team had no idea who she was. Had no idea that this is Britney Spears. And I guess the guy turned around and like popped her and knocked her to the ground, I think. And so then 52, Julie and Tiggy and are correct at 52. So Julie, you are on the board now. Julie has one, and Tiggy, Tiggy, you're on the board now. Good girl. Tiggy has one. April, you are still in the lead with 3. Okay. That. Let's see here. What is the name of the green horseradish that is commonly served with sushi? So Terry jumped on with 52. So 24, April says half right. Exactly. You were half right. So Terry, we're going to give you we're going to put you on the board with 1 also. So to me, it's like, I don't know. It's sometimes, and I mean, I'm not a celebrity. I have no idea, but maybe she was under the Wasabi. Julie, you are now at 2. All right. We are moving on to another question. Lauren says wasabi. Yes, you are correct. Lauren will give you one. Okay, what body part did Luke Skywalker lose in his fight with Darth Vader? Kelly, we're going to give you one also. Kelly and April are now tied at 3. What body part did Luke Skywalker lose in Star Wars when he was fighting Darth Vader? So to me, it's like sometimes it's like maybe Brittany was like, oh, you know what? I'm Britney Spears. You know what? I'm not just a regular fan, so I can go up and touch people. Yes. So, Lauren, you are correct. No, no, no. Let's be more specific. That's not the answer. You are close. You are close. But yes, Tiggy, you're right. He lost a hand, not his arm. So he lost his hand that was holding the lightsaber. So y'all were close, but you had Darth Vader chopping off more than what he really did. So we are going to give a point to Kelly and we're going to give a point to Tiggy. So Tiggy, you are now on. April, you get one. And, his hand, yes. And Kelly gets one. So I gave one to Kelly, to Tiggy, and to April. Okay. You guys are so smart. Hopefully you're having fun because I'm actually very entertained. Okay, what does the letter B stand for in the word scuba? And go. So to me, do I get a point? Yeah, whatever. You know what? I'll give it. It was a part of it, so I'll give you a point, and then I'm going to give Terry a point also because we have to play fair. So to me, it was like a horrible misunderstanding. But I don't think that if I saw somebody out and about that was famous, I wouldn't put my hands on them. But again, maybe she was like, "Hey, I'm Britney Spears. You know what? Some rules don't apply to me." And apparently, she did not think that that applied to her. Lauren, breathing, yes. Tiggy, breathing, yes. So it is for breathing. So we're going to give Lauren one and we're going to give Tiggy one. Now, did you know that SCUBA stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus? So there you go. It is for an underwater breathing apparatus. Okay, here's a tough one. Now, I did not know this one because I just did not know it. Kelly, you'll get one too. Okay. What temperature is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius scales? So you know the difference between Fahrenheit and Celsius. One is one and one is the other. But there's only one temperature that is the same in both. What temperature is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius? And go. So I never like to hear about anybody getting smacked around, but I think that that's probably what happened. And yeah, no, she wasn't very thrilled about it. And truthfully, I don't really blame her. Okay, so while you're thinking, no, I did not know that. Okay, 0. Nope, Julie, that's what I thought because you think that everything starts the same, but no, it's actually kind of interesting. 0, no, I wouldn't have gotten this one either. So today is National Chicken Fried Day, and if you were on my live on Monday, I found that can't say oyster. There you go. I said oyster. I found that recipe for oyster mushrooms April? Yes, but is it 40 or minus 40? I'm going to give you a point because you're the only one that got those numbers right. So it is, nope, it's not 32, but it is 40. And just for an extra bonus point, is it negative 40 or is it just 40? So I'll give you a bonus point for that. So it is National Fried Chicken Day, and I put on my Pinterest board the other day a really cool recipe for chicken fried, or I would say chicken fried because there's no chicken in it, but for fried mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and they were amazing. They they don't they taste amazing. They tasted just like chicken. I know, but you know what? I like to see everybody succeed. And Lauren, you are correct. It is minus 40. So minus 40 is the only temperature that is the same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. We just learned something new today. So I didn't answer correctly. All right, I will take, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I am in therapy and I am learning how to listen to people's words. And the words that you are saying, I'm not going to argue with you, and I took a point away. So there you go. So now Lauren is actually in the lead. Okay, let's try another one. Who has won more titles, tennis titles? Who has won more tennis single titles? Venus Williams or Serena Williams? Who's won more? It's a 50-50 chance. Y'all, if you're out there and you're like, I don't know the right answer, here's your chance. It's like I said, you have 50-50 chance that you're going to do it. So if you're a vegetarian like I am, but you want to celebrate Fried Chicken Day, go to my Pinterest board, check out that mushroom recipe, and you will be pleasantly surprised because I really was. Okay, nope, Lauren, it was Serena. April, I'm giving you your point, and you can't tell me to take it away from you. So there you go. Julie, no, it was Serena. She's actually won more than Venus, which I was surprised. Okay. So Terry has one, and April, you're like me, you're like, I don't know, but we're going to give Terry a point also. So that's 3 for Terry, and the crowd goes wild. All right, so now, Ooh, okay. Oh, I think I know this one. What iconic brand does the acronym DKNY stand for? And go. So it's Chicken Fried Day. Now, again, like I said, I have been trying really hard to figure out a game that we can play that makes us feel like detectives. And Robert and Brandon and I used to do the podcast together, and we were up to, I don't know, we were doing it like twice a week, and we were having a hard time coming up with subjects to talk about. So what we started doing is we started buying games. And one of the games that we bought was an escape room in a box. So I am going to open this up, and I'm going to open it up here. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to see if this is something that we can start incorporating from. Claire, you are on the board with another point with Donna Karen, New York. Good girl. Okay, what state is Duke University located in? What state is Duke University located in? And do you like my announcer voice? Because it gets nice and deep and low, and I talk slow. Kelly, you also get a point. So now you are tied. We have a tie, a 3-way tie. We have Lauren, we have Kelly, and we have April, all tied with 5. So there you go. And so we are now waiting for somebody to tell me what state the Duke University is in. And we are going to open up this game here, this escape room in a box, and we're going to see if it's something we can do. I'm going to see how doable it is, because I think it would be fun to solve clues. You know, we're just a band of really smart, independent women who I am pretty sure. Okay, Terry, you are now tied No, you are now in second with 4. North Carolina, absolutely. Terry, you're coming in a little late, but I'll give you that. Now there's a 4-way tie. Kelly says North Carolina. So, Kelly, you are now taking the lead. April, you are now tied in the lead with April. And so, that is pretty funny because this reminds me, I don't know why it reminds me of this, but as a kid, I used to go to the fair all the time with my parents. And there was that game where you shot water into the mouth of a clown and the little balloon would go up. And whoever popped their balloon first would win. And there would always be the announcer guy, that Carney, and he'd be like, and number 4 is coming in, and then number 5 is catching up, and number 6 is now passing. And that just reminded me of that. So, okay, I got so much to tell you. So as I open this up, I'm going to tell you about the time that I ended up having to go to the fair hospital because I hurt myself on one of the rides. And what had happened is that I was probably, I don't know, we were still in the first house that my parents owned, so maybe 6 or 7. And I wanted to go, I wanted to go on a ride with my cousins, and it was called the Zipper. And what the Zipper was is this ride that would go up and down. It would just kind of go like this. And when the ride was going like this, the little cars would spin going around. Now, I'm 58 years old, and the idea of doing this at this point sounds nauseating. And I'm like, there's nothing fun about being on a ride that does that. But again, I was like 7 years old. I'm like, that looks like fun. So we get in the ride, and we are going around, and my head flies back, because I am in this ride, and that's what you're supposed to do. Well, my head flies back, and there was no padding behind my head. So my head hit metal. And my cousin, who was quite a bit older than I was, she just happened to put her arm like that, and she's like, why are you wet? And then she looked at her hand, and it was just full of just blood. So we're screaming at the guy to stop. He's thinking we're screaming because we're having fun. He's all like, and so finally we tell the people in front of us that I got hurt and that they need to stop the ride. So when they got off, oh wow. So Tiggy, I want to hear about that. So Tiggy says, I got hurt at Guarnia Lake in Ohio, and it paid for my last year of college because it was bad. Wow. We have to find out what happened, Tiggy. So tell us what happened. So I cracked open the back of my head. Now, this was in the 70s. And in the 70s, apparently they didn't really worry about neck injuries because, again, surviving childhood back then, it was amazing. But the Carney, opens it up. I'm all covered in blood. Okay, go check on your mom. And I was like, I still remember the Carney picking me up, throwing me over his shoulder, and carrying me to the hospital. And I remember dangling upside down as blood was dripping out of my head all the way to the hospital. And it was, when I say the fair hospital, it was just a couple of beds with a nurse. And so they bandaged up my head, and my mom's like, I guess I'll take you to the doctors and make sure you're okay. So we went to my doctor, whose name was Dr. Brass. And Dr. Brass was actually the physician for Desi Arnaz. So I don't know why this story is going down such a rabbit hole, but my doctor who birthed me, who I went to until he retired, actually was the private physician for Desi Arnaz of I Love Lucy. So he was the coolest doctor. He was just he looked like a truck driver, and he was just like, yep, nope, you cut your head. So he bandaged me up, and I had to wear a compression bandage on my head for a while. And it was quite the experience. But, my parents didn't even yell at the fair for them almost breaking their doctor or their daughter. So it was, I don't know why I thought about that one. So Tiggy says, awful. There was a coaster somewhere that got stuck the other day, upside down for 4 hours. I don't ride them anymore. Nope. I don't do roller coasters like that. Lauren says, I'm sure that happens in Thorpe Park on smaller rides in the UK. Yeah, no, it was just like conk and blood everywhere. Um, Ooh, Kelly says, my dad caught my ankle as I was flung from the teacups at a fair. I was four, but teeny tiny, and I flew out. Wow. That is crazy. It is like Terry says, I have to leave. I'll check back next time, ladies. Bye, Terry. Have a great weekend. And that's just the whole thing. It's like there's all of these like these little small traveling fairs, and I know that they're regulated, but there is not enough. There's just not enough motivation for me to be like, I think I am just going to get on that roller coaster that gets drug around the country, and yeah, it's something that I'm not going to do. Tiggy says, yeah, I was sitting waiting for a Ramones concert and a huge sign fell and sliced me in the head, knocked me out, and I had a concussion. They didn't even offer to take me to the hospital at that point. Wow. I'm glad you're okay. I mean, that looks super scary. I mean, that sounds super scary. Um, yeah, no, I'm glad you're okay. And that's just the whole thing. It's like now on social media, we see all of these things, but back then, things like this were happening. And and it wasn't like nobody really even found out about it. Because, I mean, the simple fact that that happened to me, nobody knew that this ride was dangerous, and I have no idea if they even kept that ride going. So it was something that really could have happened. Okay, so now I opened up this box for the escape room because I'm trying to figure out if this is something that we are going to want to start on Monday, and it says, okay, so let me read this to you. It says, you are in terrible danger. Dr. Cynthia Na, a mad scientist werewolf, is on her way to eat you. Sounds great already. She will arrive 90 minutes after you lift the stop panel. Perchance you have heard of her previous shenanigans in Escape Room in a Box, the werewolf experience. Even if you survive that challenge, she is not planning to let you live to tell about the tale. So it is, so what it is, it's, hopefully you are resourceful enough. Hello, Kathy. Good morning, good evening, my friends. Lewis is racing at home this weekend in Silverton, so I got a little distracted. Yeah, no, I love the fact that you jumped in. Fairs were super sketchy back then. Again, some still are. Absolutely. Yeah, I sued them for a large amount of money and won. Good, Tiggy. I'm glad that you did. So I think what I'm going to do is, what it is that there's clues that, okay, so once we open this up, we have to solve a clue to build a room. So I'm thinking that on Monday morning, we're going to just solve one clue. And then as soon as we solve the clue, the next day we'll move on to the other clue. Because I think it will be a lot of fun to just kind of have like something that we come back to daily and put our little thoughts into a solving something, because I don't know about you, but I really don't want to get eaten by a werewolf. That's just all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. By what name is William Cody best known? Okay, William Cody. And I think I know, but I don't want to. Nope, I was wrong. Okay, by what name is William Cody best known for? Let's see here. Kelly says, glad you got money, but sorry you got hurt though. Yeah, you know what? It's I don't ever want to see anybody get hurt. And you're right. Things back in the 70s were super sketchy. They didn't have the regulations now and all of that. And it was a really weird time. I can remember watching things on TV that I wouldn't watch as an adult. And here I was watching things as a kid. Like let's see, what was it? Love, not Love Boat, but it was Room 220. Oh, Love American Style. Do you remember watching that? I'm back. Yes, Buffalo Bill. April, you are absolutely correct. And you are taking the lead. Does anybody remember watching Love American Style? Because that was like corn. I'm not going to say the word, but it was like, and it was perfectly okay. And then I go back and I watch some movies from the 70s, and I'm in the front room and I'm like, I need to close the blinds because I don't want my neighbors to see what I'm watching. And this was like normal media in the 70s. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I sat there and watched it. And my parents were like, yeah, feel free. Watch all the, Love American Style you want. And then there was Room 222. And it was just so super cringy. And no wonder we are just like, hey, you know what? Things don't bother us. I mean, we had lead in our toys. The paint in the toys was made of lead. There was mercury in our thermometers that we were sticking in our mouth. I can remember roller skating, and the wheels on my roller skates were metal, and I was like, I had weapons strapped to my feet. Okay, Kelly, let's go ahead. And since you're from Canada and you never heard that, let's do something here. I'm going to read you the synopsis of what Love American Style was all about, because it was graphic. No seatbelts either. No, April, you know what? I can remember standing behind my dad's shoulder in the truck. And I would just stand there, and the seatbelt was his shoulder. And that's crazy that I remember that, because I must have been like 3 or 4, but I can still remember doing that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, love. Oops, let's spell love correctly. Love American Style. Rode in the back of station wagons, in the back of pickup trucks. Yes. Yeah. And remember Pintos? I mean, those were like little, those just blew up every time they got into an accident. Okay. What was it about? Okay. So Love American Style is, let's see here, is to see if it says what it's about. Love American Style was a comedy series that aired on ABC from 1969 to 1974. It was a part of ABC's Friday primetime lineup that included The Brady Bunch, The Partridge Family, Room 222, and The Odd Couple. It featured some of the earliest works of future stars Diane Keaton, Albert Brooks, Sally Struthers, and Harrison Ford. Let's see here. Does it say any more? So some of the episodes were, oh, it doesn't give some of those. So anyway, basically what it was is it was on Friday nights, and it was about like people hooking up. And I'm going to leave it at that, because it was, again, in the 70s. It started in 69 and it went through 74. And there was a lot of like, hey, it's okay to just hook up. And it was a little graphic. Let's just put it that way. Hood surfing in the sand, sketchy AF. Yeah. No, and it was, I can remember riding in the back of pickup trucks, and it was like no big deal. You just pile in the back and away you go. And it's crazy to think of that. But I remember when you could smoke in a movie theater. And I went to go see American Graffiti with my sister, and which was right near the doctor's office from Dr. Brass. But I was like maybe again 6 or 7, and I'm sitting in the movie theater and people are smoking all around me. And they used to smoke there. You could smoke on planes. It was just so weird how like times have changed to just be like, hey, you know what? This might not be the best. And it was just, it's such a weird time, but I am really thankful. I'm glad I grew up in that era, because it was just a really interesting era. And I remember the Doors, and coming out and just the music and all of that stuff, and it was interesting, and it was a cool time to grow up. So I have to, what time is it? Because I have my doctor's appointment. I am going to run. I will, you know what I'll do is I've smoked on a plane. Yeah. No, it's just, and then I can remember they're like, well, we'll just have no smoking sections of the restaurant. Like, like smoke doesn't travel. So I can remember always having to sit in the smoking section because my dad smoked. But I will go to the doctors. I will give you a brief, I'll do a post. Kelly says, I remember people smoking in hospitals. They smoked everywhere. I remember even though I'm 29, but smoking was still allowed in restaurants. Yeah, no, it's come a long ways. But I'm going to head off to the doctor so I can get this all taken care of. I will definitely like give a little bit of a brief overall of my doctor visit. I won't be super graphic because I'll save that for Monday, but I'll give you a little idea of what happens. And I hope that you enjoyed our Friday of just hanging out. Now, Tiggy, I did not do the social media thing. I kind of got a little distracted with my whole doctor's appointment, so I apologize for that. But we will cover that on Monday along with some new recipes because I don't want you to think like I forgot about you. So I hope you had fun. I sure did. I am going to sign out, go to the doctor's. I'm going to be brave, 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 brave. And I will see you. I love your chats so much. Great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you all hanging out with me. You know what? I love everyone here. I have such a great community and I appreciate each and every single one of you. So we'll start our escape room on Monday. I'll have some more recipes and Tiggy, I promise I will do the social media. So have a great weekend, everyone. Love you dearly. And I will see you all on Monday.